I don't know if y'all can hear all the animal life around us right now, but I think the feeding program has been helping out. It starts small and very annoying, and then it gets better. Let me show you something. Around every store, you'll have these, and if you look, there's a ton of bugs. Those bugs feed into the ecology of the area, and in our particular case, feed larger insects, feed more interesting insects, and we get a wide variety, like this little friend here. It's a wood moth. Let's see if I can zoom in so I don't have to bother our little friend on his final voyage. Oh yeah, let me just shoot it like it's an old 70s video. We'll try to find some information on these. I'm just going to do it manually. We're going to try to find some information on these cute little fellas later. But this one, I believe, is near the end of his life cycle. Remember, our goal is not to intervene other than to pick up litter and try to make the environment a bit better. But we do like to see the environment coming back. That being said, I have had quite the interesting morning. I don't know why it is I don't film the things when they're interesting, but it's not really like my deal. Thankfully, apparently, I am a recognized figure because they almost sent in deputies after me just chilling here waiting for my boss. I heard the one cop because truck pulls up real slick and slow, like right on that road there. And then just as he's like getting ready to turn the lights on me, van pulls up right in front of him and go, whoa, he's waiting for his ride to work. He does this like every other day. Oh, we got another friend. This one, I don't think so. And the thing about Georgia, much like the rainforest, but a little different, and this white concrete as opposed to the asphalt, it makes it to where the plant life can't grow. And with the plant life not being able to grow, we don't really get close with the, casual poisoning of the ground. And I'm not blaming anyone for that. Anyone's vehicle can leak. It's why a lot of vehicles have the panning underneath them to catch all those spills. The problem is that panning weighs down the vehicle, so some folks that know how remove it. This is a byproduct of that pan either being damaged or removed. Cool kid but a legend reborn and my girlfriend. What's up? Nothing much. Just chilling, waiting for my ride to get here for a ride into work. I'll be walking home this afternoon to about this same location. It's about an 8-mile loop, so I'll be walking 4 miles this afternoon. I was going over the ecology here that's here in the early morning because we do not have much of a life outside of that in the evening times until you get into the evening. Georgia's become one of those super hot states. That one, I believe, is actually a lunar moth. And hello, it's only been about 3 minutes since the stream got started. We also have another favorite form of life of mine, false widows. They look and act like black widows, but for two things. They like to group up together. How's it going? Go ahead. Tell me what I'm trying to guess at. All right, when you're ready. But as I was saying, they're false widows. They're not nearly as poisonous as the black widows are, but I'd also like to let y'all know black widows aren't nearly as deadly as, like, the internet may have you believe. Well, the internet will let you know it's not that deadly, especially not in the world of modern medicine. But do make sure you go to the hospital and get checked out at the very least, because it is a heart kind of thing. It'll hurt your heart. So it's very dangerous for the super young and the super elderly, which really is not a pleasant experience. Other good news, they're not gunning for you. They're not going to try to bite you. So just avoid the webbing. If you hit a web, don't panic. Remember, even the big ones are itty bitty. We're basically mountains compared to them. So just very calmly, because that's the best way to be in nature, remove the thing that's on you and let it go. Now, what are we looking at? You're trying to impress your girlfriend? I'm not really sure. And I don't know who. I try to, especially in the early morning streams where I get hot and upset with my day at work, I try to be kind of optimistic, positive, to do some artwork, but also I'll show the little cat shrine we got going. And it's basically just it feeds cats, possums. I think we got a couple of I can't really identify them. They look like weasels, but I'll eventually put the trail camera footage up online too. We're just trying to restore ecosystems where we can. If you can and you want to do a real solid for Mother Nature, rip up the odd lawn and put down some actual natural grass. Because that's the way to get our ecosystems back. Healthy ecosystems, healthy cities, the ones tearing it up, we can be the ones to fix it. Me and you. Together. Oh, that's due to I'm way out here in rural Georgia and I have the bare bone straight talk plan. So, yeah, it's going to be a little buggy at times. Sorry about that. I do think that it fixes it in the long stream, but we'll see about that. Around 12:30 to 1 o'clock today, I'll be streaming where I basically, give me a moment, take my slop bucket here from work where I'll gather all the odds and ends of the food I prep, chicken I process, salad product I process, and I'll be feeding the local wildlife towards the rivers and planting any kind of seeds I can around 200 feet away from the road. The other one's just a bag of random bullshit for work. 2 Gatorades, a crochet bag, rubbing alcohol because that's the best way to deal with parasites getting on your legs, and that's about it. I got a lantern for at work in case the fridge lights out still. What is your question? Cool kid, but a legend reborn and my girlfriend. Howdy, Alaska Tech. Go ahead. Cool kid, but a legend reborn and your girlfriend. You have the floor. What's up? I have to learn how to start looking at a camera rather than at the chat itself. How do I live stream? Go to YouTube, go down to the little plus button at the bottom of the phone, hit it, and it gives you the option to go live, do a short, or do the various things. Hit go live. Then all you have to do is say, no, my stream is not for kids, or yeah, my stream's for kids, and go live with it. Typically, I say the fuck word too much for my stream to be for kids. I don't mind cussing, I don't slurs. And, the question appears to be spamming through chat, but that's cool. I get it. But that's about it. Just there's a little plus sign at the bottom of your YouTube. I believe there's a little plus sign at the bottom of the video that you're watching now. If not, drag the video down and there'll be a plus sign. Hit go live from there. Then all you have to do is specify if your channel is for children or not. If you stream specifically for kids, there are rules you have to follow. So I usually hit no because, oh, no problem. I'm happy to help wherever I can help. We got to work together out here, right? But like I said, I typically stream 3 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. And I just try to do what I can to help out around where I'm at in any way I can. Sometimes that's people, sometimes that's little critters. Let's see if our friend on camera would have basically eventually breached his harder outer beetle shell and devoured him. Not really fire ants, but it's a different variety. And heads up, you really should try to remove them from your yard. They are an invasive species from, I believe, somewhere in Asia. They've come over on some of these non-native plants that have been being planted in gardens, and ants are very resilient. I would argue they're technically the largest life mass. Hello, Eleni. Hello, how are you doing? I'm not going to butcher your name. But the ants, I'm not quite sure what name they're called by, but they're very, very small. They look like fire ants, but instead of being red, they're black. Typically, our black ants are very large ones because they feed on forest debris and mulch. These fellas, they eat other bugs, and they're quite good at it. I'm also watching the road because, as I said, my ride will be coming here, and when they pull up, I gotta go out. I gotta go dark. Elaine. Okay. Either way. Honestly, the chats help the stream anyway. But try to avoid those ants because when they bite you, they'll actually cause stomach problems. Something about the poison and venom they have, unlike our native ones. Fire ants have venom. The black mulching ants don't have any kind of venom. They can bite you and it hurts, but it doesn't take that long for it to heal. Fire ants, if I'm sure you're used to that kind of thing, give you itty bitty little welts that hurt quite badly. Hence why they're called fire ants. But it's also why for, quite some time since they've been installing sod on the grounds, ants have become a real problem here in the South. That's because sod's great for them. They can go up under it and get everything they need from on top of it, sort of like how I've been playing at the Minecraft. But when you have native grasses, it allows other wildlife to flourish, which also allows the ants' predators to come in. Now, sadly, we don't have our own. Yep. They're a very common pest. You can typically get rid of them in a. I can't believe we keep calling it peaceful considering we are wiping out living species, but you can peacefully get rid of them without hurting your garden with a bit of Dawn dish soap, borax, and warm or cold water, your choice. Warm works best because it helps in it. It basically eats their exoskeleton's coating. It's sort of like an acid that doesn't burn you. I'm not knocking old Steve-O. I love Steve Irwin. But I'm not going to go interact with them because if they start to associate people with food, they're not going to become bloodthirsty monsters hunting us, but they might come up to, say, a hunter and try to get food and end up getting shot. They might come up to a random family, and because the kid don't understand nature isn't a Disney movie, they try to pet the deer, get hit, and now everyone wants to kill deer again. It's a weird kind of thing because back in the early 90s and 2000s, it was we were teaching people, hey, don't be cruel to animals for fun. Now we truly enjoy watching animals from afar. That's the best thing. Watch them through your camera because with a camera, you can flip and you can zoom. I don't have any animals to currently flip and zoom on, but y'all get it. But yeah, I'd say anything you like. The thing with ants and the biggest thing with most of these animals is just we got to learn how to live with a good number of them. Now, like I said, by no means am I saying let the fire ants move into your home and start raiding your cabinets. But at the same time, we have to try to live in balance with nature because within that, I'm trying not to kneel into anyone's home here because within that balance, there's a beautiful thing that happens. And I just love seeing all the life springing up, even during these dog summer months. Oh my. Okay, well, being that the sun has risen today, just kidding. See, here's another thing I don't get, is you can get pulled over for your tint on your windows being like this, to where you couldn't see me in the car. But someone can drive around most of the time. There's no need to drive with your high beams in this kind of weather. Those are specifically bullet ants, and unless you're in Brazil or you have a specific breeding type, those are very hard to come by. But yes, in bridge building species in South Africa that basically will lock their mandibles together to overcome waterways, and North America really doesn't have our own variety of that type. I guess there wasn't a need for that clade here, or it got wiped out real quick. We typically have, like I said, the mulching black ants, which are pretty cool fellas. Don't mess with them because they can hurt you. They do bite, but they don't have venom. We've got those itty bitty fire ants, which eat up all the meat that gets left down. And then we have a variety of what I would call invasive or random species. But sadly, we don't have any bullet ants. We've got cow ants, which aren't invasive, but they're kind of rare to see out in these parts. And they're just really hard-bodied, bright red or black and white. And they get to be about the size of your thumb. And when I was young and stupid and cruel, I used to take part with my classmates in crushing them. They are really, really hard to crush. Hello, Vinny. And thank you, Free of All Fear. I've been growing this one for about 4 months now. I messed up and made it too short once. I had to go completely without a mustache. Eventually, it's going to get, up there, and I'm going to get a beard as winter gets in. Hello, MRFs. I don't know what ISC is. Or ISC. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But yeah, mostly it's just early food waste into the river. Nothing greasy, nothing that's going to hurt the environment, of course. But we'll try to feed some of this local wildlife, and here in a couple months check back along the river's edge and see if we can find any harvestable food. Remember, grow food wherever you can, but make sure it's grown more than 200 feet away with it. Aw, thank you, Free of All Fear. And okay, cool kid, but a legend, reborn, and my girlfriend. You've got about 30 seconds. Go ahead and type your story out, and I'll read it if it's good. I just got to get ready. It is mighty humid today, by the way, y'all. If you happen to be in the cop pulled me over and sent papers. I said, scissors, I win. Then he shot me 27 times. I mean, that is kind of funny, I guess, but I've heard that one too many times. Also, just this morning, I had 2 of them roll through real fast. If it wasn't for one knowing me, I would have probably had a bit of a rougher morning. Again, I don't want to be like ACAB because I think it's bad messaging. We got to work within organizations, all that real world shit. But it's like, y'all, how about we disarm them just a little bit? Better armor, better shields, but less weapon. A proof vest, a bulletproof vest, all the technology to call in all the backup you need. A car that's basically against everything that I could throw at it. You can't get hurt in it. And you're scared of me? A dude with a hat and a bucket? I don't get it. Where's the fear come from, y'all? Either way, let's not step on our beetle friend. Either way, y'all, if you like 12:30 without interfering with them, because if it's you and them, never ever feed a wild animal in a way that they can see you. If you don't want them to tear into something, never ever leave food stuff out that a wild animal can get to, because in their world, calories are calories. Either way, y'all, be good. Remember, community first. I got over 700 videos, so if you really got questions about me, go check out some of them maybe. The community is growing every day. Go donate to the Trevor Project if you got any extra cash. I have a Ko-Fi. I ain't worried about it because I'm a fast food worker. I'm one of the highest paid employees in all of America. Y'all be good. Be safe. Remember, community first, and everyone can make a difference. Yes, even you. Be good, y'all. See you around this afternoon.